New Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Never reluctant to speak his mind, President Trump not backing away from his contention that a half-dozen Democrat lawmakers are guilty of sedition. He calls himself a Democrat socialist. President Trump calls him a communist. Should be an interesting White House meeting today between the president and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. Federal judges have upheld several U.S. House districts that were drawn by North Carolina Republicans back in 2023. The districts helped the GOP gain additional seats the following year. The Justice Department reportedly examining the handling of a mortgage fraud investigation into Democrat Senator Adam Schiff of California. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 208 points, while the Nasdaq is now down 76 points, and the S&P 3 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-0141.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Program is a paid advertisement and does not necessarily represent the views, opinions, or endorsements of Signal Hill Media Partners, its affiliate stations, or its advertisers.
Say what you want.
Welcome to We're Just Sayin' with Senator Vickie Sawyer and co-host David Coble. Join them each week as they provide the latest updates on legislation affecting North Carolina, from breaking down key bills to answering your live call-in questions. Senator Sawyer and David engage in meaningful conversations on the issues that matter most to our state. No matter your political affiliation, We're Just Sayin' keeps you informed and involved in the efforts to make North Carolina a better place for everyone. Welcome to the conversation.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to We're Just Saying with Senator Vickie Sawyer and David. Like you part of the show, 704-873-9929. We're getting started with some excitement. Senator Sawyer concussed herself with the headphones while putting them on. I mean, that looked like it hurt.
I believe it did. I believe it did.
I mean, how many? Can you see how many? The fingers? Are you blurry in vision?
Man.
I mean, all I heard was whack. And if you've never seen the live feed or been here, these headphones, I mean, they're pretty, they're pretty taut,
right?
I would say. And when you put them on, there's a little extra care that's required. And I think that you didn't take proper care.
I bruised my melon.
Yes, you did. It was a loud whack, and then all of a sudden you were just like almost out over your head.
And I possibly said a 4-letter word.
You may have said a 4-letter word,
not the word.
Not the word. No, not that word.
Not that word again.
No, not the F dash word. Was it the granddaddy of all dirty words?
Yes.
According to Ralphie.
Yes, 'tis the season for
it
that.
Is.
It
Almost.
is.
It's not the season until after
Correct.
Thanksgiving. I still maintain Christmas trees before Thanksgiving should be outlawed.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, you can buy your Christmas stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
Putting up Christmas stuff prior to Thanksgiving I just think there ought to be a law against it. I'm sorry. I'm a purist. I love Thanksgiving and always have. And Christmas can only start the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is, again, one of my favorite holidays other than Easter. I love it because you get the no pressure of the gifts, but all the fun of the family.
Yes, and the food.
Yes, and the food. Oh, I'm so excited. I love Thanksgiving.
Yes. Now you typically you have your friend group that you guys
Yes.
always go out and everything.
We travel every year away from family.
The men cook the meals, and the women enjoy themselves, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, the men.
Which sounds fantastic.
Yes, we do. We're going to travel this year to the mountains of North Carolina and enjoy a week of just fun with friends and family and celebrating Thanksgiving as we always do. Now, last year we were in Almirada, so I'm kind of missing the weather, but it looks like we're getting ready to have like 80-degree weather.
Well, I was going to say, it looks like it's going to be fairly warm for Thanksgiving as well. So I need it to start getting cold. The holiday season needs to be cold. And like I was actually having a conversation last night with a friend of mine about this. Like Christmas Day, if I can't have snow, which around here we never get snow on Christmas. I think it's happened one time in my entire lifetime here. But but Christmas at the least should be cloudy and cold. Because Christmas Day should be, because like inside in your Christmas pajamas and everything like that, a fire going. If I go outside and it's sunny and 70 degrees on Christmas Day, it just doesn't feel like Christmas.
David, we've already established you're not really an outside person, so I don't even know why you even worry about the weather. I mean, really, the weather is always
go
the
outside.
same. Barely.
Well, I mean,
if it's raining, I was really worried today because it's a little rainy.
It is a little rainy. I woke up this morning, the driveway was wet. I thought about texting you saying I wasn't coming, but I thought I wanted to give you a chance, for the weather to clear up. So, and it did. So I came, but no, I do not like rain. I do not like rain.
He's like a goat. He like goes.
I don't go out in the rain.
He does not go out in the rain,
It
folks.
puts me in a perpetually bad mood to go out in the rain. I hate it. And now that I don't have, it bothered me because my hair would get wet when I had hair. Now that I don't have hair, it bothers me because my bald head gets wet and it drips down. And, you get in and out and you got to meddle with an umbrella and you got to get your shoes wet. And I take great pride in my shoes.
He does.
And so I have a very lovely sneaker correction that I do not like getting wet and dirty or anything like that. Look, I'm just particular about certain things.
Yeah, you're an inside boy.
I am. I enjoy being outside.
When you're golfing.
When I'm golfing, I enjoy that. I enjoy being outside in the fall. I enjoy being outside in the spring.
Going to and from your car.
And winter, I don't mind winter at all. I don't like rain. And I don't like, and there's certain days of the year, like Christmas Day, that need to be cloudy and cold, not raining. If it's gonna do precipitate, it has to snow. But if it rains on Christmas Day, I could probably, I'm not going anywhere anyway.
So many rules.
There are rules. There's a way these things are to be done.
rules.
I bet our listeners, many of our listeners, I would wager agree with me on this.
What?
That Christmas Day should be at least cloudy and cold.
Okay. I don't know about the cloudy.
Cold. See, I don't like a sunny Christmas Day. I just don't.
So my favorite Christmas day is when Brett and I take the girls and we wake up in Jamaica and I have a travel tree, which happens most of the time. Or, we've done St. Lucia and maybe, somewhere maybe Cozumel or Cancun.
I understand.
That is my favorite. My favorite Christmas advertisement is the one with the Corona beer where it shows with
when he lights up the palm tree.
Lights up the palm trees. That is my favorite Christmas. That is me right there. I love it.
No, not me.
Yeah,
not me. I gotta have cold. I gotta have cold, and I gotta have cloudy.
Well,
but it isn't Christmas yet, so stop talking about it.
Okay, that's right, because it is Thanksgiving, and I guess some people are going to have a little bit different of Thanksgiving this year if they are in the Charlotte's Web.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this ice thing down there it is. It was eventually coming to Charlotte.
Sure.
There was no way that it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the many people down in Charlotte have gone stupid, just like every other blue city when ICE comes in for these raids. I have seen videos of the protests and the ICE trackers and all these other kind of things.
You know what was actually really crazy to me too? Sorry to interrupt you, but
But it is your show.
No, it's ours. It's ours. The traffic around here was really great.
It was really great.
I was like thinking, how many immigrants are there in this region? I mean, like the substantial amount of cars that were off the roads. And no traffic. I was like, oh my God.
Well, the stat was of the 900,000, I think it was 900,000 in the Charlotte region, 150,000 of them are immigrants, are from other countries. Now that doesn't necessarily mean illegal,
right?
But are 150,000, and obviously a good portion of those are likely here illegally.
Yeah.
But we've seen, I mean, the lack of traffic on the roads, a lot of businesses not opening because staff wasn't showing up.
Yeah.
And again, I think that you don't want to be heartless about these things or anything like that. And Charlotte's crime problem is well documented, and ICE being there to take care of some of these gangs and these violent criminals and things like that, I have no issue with whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the people who are blocking them, who are throwing things at them, who are doing their ICE trackers, in order to tell people where they will be and when they will be there and everything like that, I think is horrific. I'm amazed that no ICE agents have been killed yet because of some of the things these people do. But I have a heart for those who are working the restaurants and things like that, because there is a cascading effect with immigrant labor. Construction sites, many of them are not working right now because of this. I do recognize the cascading and economical impact of all that, and the people focus of people who, while being here illegally, have not committed any other crimes or anything like that. I'm sensitive to the human factor in that, but still, we do have laws, and you should be here legally. And when ICE comes in and comes into arrest and things like that, we should not be making their job more difficult.
Well, really, the people who initially did the bad thing to these folks are the ones who let them come in with an open border all along. I mean, this is unfortunate that this is the reaction that we're seeing from some of these folks. And, again, of course, I don't think any one of us wants to see someone unjustifiably, targeted. But unfortunately, you came here illegally. You knew that was happening. We do have laws, and this is what part of that. So you made a choice. Choices have consequences, and these are the consequences of those choices. And so for whatever reason that some of these, and I saw where even I think someone had texted me, I think that WBT News had actually sent a hotline in there to say
on
about
their website, on their tracker on their website.
Come on, guys, that is absolutely openly going against the rule and law and order of our land. I mean, and that's crazy to me.
And not for nothing, WBTV enjoys the federal government gave broadcast networks the airways for free many, many decades ago. And WBTV enjoys that free for their product to sell their advertising and do their programming and everything like that. And, if I'm Trump, all right, and given what we've seen of Trump, it would not shock me to see the FCC going after WBTV about that, because it is a blatant effort to interfere with federal law and federal law enforcement.
Right.
It is an outward attempt to do that, and doing it utilizing airwaves that they get for free, from the government. And so, if I'm, hopefully, honestly, I would not shed a tear if the FCC went after WBTV for that, because that does have real consequences and does put federal law, who are just doing their jobs.
Right.
These are not the Gestapo, like many Democrats want to call them. This is not, the SS coming in to take people away or anything like that. These are Americans who are putting their lives on the line to serve our country and to serve federal law enforcement, and they have been given orders and they have a job to do.
Yeah.
And contrary to what Democrats want to say, these are lawful orders.
Well,
okay.
I was listening this morning to Brett Jensen on WBTAM, and that radio, not the video, but anyways, he was saying that there's words that he got confirmation that because of the treatment that the ICE agents had when they were here, they're coming back.
Yeah. It's like
they're circling back.
Easiest way to make sure they don't come back is to treat them well, let them get their job done and get out.
And they're coming back. And I'm like, well, okay, well, that's actually, I kind of with you. I mean, absolutely good. And this is on the heels. I know this really doesn't have, one doesn't have to do with the other, but maybe in a broader sense it does. The jobs numbers are looking great. They just came out this week that all of these things that Trump is doing or are doing is actually helping our economy. And I can understand some people thought, which to me is the weirdest thing when they talk about our economy and immigration and how one has to do with the other with the labor market. I'm like, dude, that's slavery just in another way. I mean, when they're saying that to me, I'm like, well, these folks, when they come in undocumented, they're not getting good paying jobs. These are getting paid by folks who are here usually under the table, off the books, who aren't paying them what they deserve. They're probably working twice as hard for less money. That's basically modern day slavery.
Yeah.
And you are condoning it, some of you in the Democratic Party, by talking about it in that way. So close the borders, pay people what they need to be paid, and shore up our workforce. And I think it's great what we're doing.
I think so too. And, and I think a lot of people probably don't realize that, the I-77-85 corridor is horrible for human trafficking.
Yeah.
Charlotte is a hub for human trafficking, to farm these people out, who are being trafficked, these child traffickers and things like that. And so bringing, and obviously Charlotte has been, as a city, has been unwilling to tackle that problem because it has only grown. I know that there's limited resources, and I don't say this as a criticism of their law enforcement. Their law enforcement is hamstrung by the political leadership at the top, because most law enforcement would love to get human traffickers off the streets, but the political climate in Charlotte is not one that yields the flexibility to do it as it needs to be done. Federal ICE coming in here and getting that done is huge to help with that, because Charlotte is a major trafficking corridor, and that needs to be taken care of. And to me, it's kind of like, look, where are these people better off? Are they better off being trafficked here, or are they better off being able to go back to their home countries and perhaps build a life, or come here legally?
Correct.
And plead for asylum? But if you want to argue to me that, oh, well, them being in America but being trafficked is better for them than being back in their home country, I take issue with that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, it's just absolutely upside down on this stuff. So hopefully this will continue to work, and then we can move past and beyond this. And I don't know. It's just things continue to baffle me every day. I mean,
well, yeah, and I'm right there with you. And then, then you add that on the clown show up in DC right now. We finally get the government back open, and what is everyone talking about, and what is everyone focused on? The Epstein files.
I know.
There's nothing better to talk about.
I know.
I mean,
not discounting sexual abuse and trafficking and all this other stuff, but good Lord.
But tell me, how is America made better? How is our economy made better? How are our lives made better by the releasing of these files? I'm not against the releasing of them, but why is that priority one right now?
Well,
why is that what Democrats and many Republicans, honestly, are solely focused on? I mean, Trump's war with Marjorie Taylor Greene is frankly great entertainment.
Yeah.
All right. She picked the fight with the wrong person. She just did. She's just not. I mean, it's I've seen dolphins caught in tuna nets put up a better fight than she's able to put against Trump. It's ridiculous for her to do it. I understand why she is. Politically, she's probably close to done.
You think so?
Yes. I think, I've watched in multiple different programs. The underlying, background seems to be that she wanted to run statewide in Georgia.
Yeah.
The Trump team provided her with polling that showed that she would be utterly obliterated, and told her, you should not do this. But she is arrogant. She's not that bright, in my opinion. I'm sorry for you MTG lovers out there, but she's a moron. And she obviously, I know she tickles your ears, and she says she owns the libs and all that other kind of crap. Fine. She's a horrible representative. She's not a very bright person, as Trump has pointed out multiple times in his Twitter feeds, or his X feed since.
Yeah.
And she picked a fight with the wrong guy. And so, but the focus on the Epstein files. Yes, the victims deserve justice, but what does that look like right now? The man is dead. So all these people that exploited them, yes, law enforcement should keep going after them. They should keep prosecuting them. I have no doubt there are many powerful people being protected outside of this. But what is funny to me is I really still feel like because they're making this big deal out of the fact that Trump didn't want these files released and everything like that. And to be fair, there are probably very good reasons why. Because here's what's going to happen when you release all these files. Any name that appears in them, any name that has been in an email from Jeffrey Epstein to anybody is going to be immediately implicated and immediately thought of being part of the pedo ring whenever they may have had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yep.
And I think this is now backfiring now on a lot of Democrats, because now you're seeing, most recently yesterday, they were on the floor going at Timu Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, about the fact that his own campaign, after Epstein was a known sex offender, his campaign was emailing him for donations to a dinner and to meet Hakeem Jeffries. This is after he was a known criminal. Okay. And then you got Jasmine Crockett, who I think is just now auditioning for her eventual MSNBC show because she's been drawn out of her district in Texas, which I think is hilarious. She talks about running statewide for Senate. She would get destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. She's a caricature. She's not a real public servant. She's a caricature. She's a media person. Yeah. And she's auditioning for him at MSNBC show. But she gets out there and she goes, I had my staff Google the name Jeffrey Epstein as it appears in files. And she mentioned Lee Zeldin, who I think is, I forget which secretary he is right now. And basically it was a Dr. Jeffrey Epstein that gave him a donation after the other Epstein was already dead. But she reads his name as though he got, it's a clown show.
It is.
And it just continues to destroy what little faith I had in our federal government to begin with.
I think, as with anything with politics, there's some universal truths. And one is that some of these things that we discuss are so complex and so hard to understand that when you see a bright, shiny object that you can wrap up in a bow, like the Epstein files, people really glom onto that because they can understand it, right? And they can be, a nice little quick, like knee-jerk reaction and all this. And so for when I saw the expediency of how that bill moved from the House and into the Senate and then, to the president's desk, for me, it's just like, oh, see, they can do it.
Yeah.
They can do something, right? I mean, they absolutely can. And they can do it only when it has to do with these very nice, neat, tidy things that people can understand and react to. But with all of the other goobly gob that goes into some of these big omnibus bills, people don't understand. It's really tough. So it just mires it down and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think this was all a political play. Right. I think that the Democrats made a calculation. I think they fully know that Democrats are far more exposed by being involved with Jeffrey Epstein than any Republican is.
Yeah.
Epstein, it's documented he couldn't stand Donald Trump.
Sure.
Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump wanted nothing to do with the guy. When the accusations started flowing and things like that, Democrats were still soliciting him for money. We're still talking to him, still traveling with him after all these things had happened. And I think this was a deliberate attempt to muddy the water, to get it all about Trump as much as possible for when these files came out and showed all this Democrat, still soliciting him and going after him for money and influence peddling and things like that, to muddy it just enough to where it's just a pox on both their houses.
Yeah.
To where everybody just says, hey, it's Republicans, Democrats equally. They both suck. They're both awful. No, they're not.
Yes.
Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat. He gave to Democrats billions of dollars to Democrats.
Yeah.
He loved Democrats. Why do you think he loved Democrats? When you look at the things they enable, from chemical castration of children to permissible lifestyles and things like that, that's his people. It just is. The moral objectivity, and it's a moving line, and if it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
And you do you, and it's all about you, and how you feel matters. That's the party of Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sorry, it is.
I love it. Preach. Hey, you know what I'm more interested in, though? I want to know if Prince Andrew's name in there. We've long established that I am a royal watcher.
You are a royal watcher.
Sorry.
You love the crown.
I do love the crown. I've grew up with Princess Diana. She died near my birthday. I'm just always. But now, I keep on seeing all this stuff coming out about Prince Andrew. If he's lost his royal title, and he's.
I love that. That is so funny.
And then you see Fergie, and I don't know. It's just kind of like my soap opera. It's like Days of Our Lives.
Well, did you notice the episode of The Crown where they kind of allude to Andrew being a little bit of a sicko?
Yeah.
It's because I saw a clip of it the other day on Reels, and I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was filmed after this. He's been known to have been an Epsteinite for a while, right? So it may have been part of that, but it's in this conversation between the Queen and Prince Philip, her husband, talking about Andrew, and they just allude to him being a little bit of a sicko.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of, I was like, wow.
Well, I was always a fan of Fergie, so I his wife, so I didn't understand. But also I was looking at. And my source is NPR here, so I just want you to know that I'm looking at both sides of the aisle on these things.
Wait, they're still up and running after being defunded?
I know.
Isn't that amazing how that works?
I know.
All that funding got taken away from, but they're still up and running. Imagine that.
Well, to your point earlier,
with all those advertisings on the side of the page you're looking at, it's like, wow, they they actually can compete in the free market. Well done, NPR.
Well, there's one name, Noam, is it Chomsky? Chomsky. He was
Noam Chomsky?
Yeah. Is that how you say it? Anyways, there was
for
a
our
letter.
purposes, yeah.
Yeah.
Far as you
Okay.
know.
So from our Southern purposes, there's a parent letter of recommendation from him, and he's like a famed linguist. Also, former Harvard University professor and one-time Treasury Secretary Larry Summers is documented numerous times.
Oh,
having
numerous
conversations.
times. Larry Summers.
Yeah. And then
New York Times reporter, what's his name? Something Wolf.
Who
was like helping try and run PR interference for Epstein after he was accused and actually, I think, put under house arrest.
Yeah. Wow.
What do all those folks have in common, I wonder? Okay, I'm sure it'll come to me. It'll come to me.
But so now they're coming out, and hopefully we'll have more salacious things to talk around the dinner table for Thanksgiving.
Well, the good thing that I really enjoy about my family at Thanksgiving is that, as a general rule, politics doesn't come into it. Same with other holiday gatherings. We try to avoid politics as much as possible. Growing up, I remember, because me and my cousins actually talk about this sometimes, is that periodically politics would creep its way in family gatherings, and inevitably feelings would get hurt. And so it finally got to a point where it veered away from that. And I think we learned from that. And because we have so much more fun things to talk about, like this year for our Christmas gathering up in Asheville with my family up there, when we were on vacation, I found an 80s pop culture game. And so and all of us love the 80s, and we grew up on Trivial Pursuit, and we still like to play the one when the Soviet Union was still in existence, because it's always fun to play that, and because you can't answer it based off today. Those questions were written like in 1984. So you got to be able to answer it based off that. So we geek out on that, but I found an 80s game, so we're going to play that.
Nice.
That's the kind of stuff we do around the table with my family.
That's so much better than the other.
Oh, it absolutely is. It is so much better than the other.
Well, and also, too, I do want to say, I'm so sorry that we missed last week's show, and I'm feeling the effects. I got sick again. I'm like, right now I'm sitting here, and I don't feel the best. So if I made any kind of silly remarks or anything, I'm going to blame it on the sickness.
And I've been playing with house money because I've been in the room with you while you've had this, continuing bout of Ebola or whatever it is that's consuming you right now. And I have successfully avoided getting sick.
I don't know.
So I feel like I'm playing on house money, but I can only tempt fate so long. Because as a seasoned blackjack player, I know the deck can turn really quick, and I feel like I'm getting close.
Well, we can't. So we actually are having some issues here at the show. I'm still trying to get over the flu and whatever I had. You, my friend, are hobbling around like an old man.
Yes, I have a knee problem.
He has a severe knee problem. And in fact, he mentioned today that, do you have a walking assistant?
You know what? Shut your face. I share I don't, it does not pay to share anything with you.
Yes, it does. I was just,
no, it doesn't.
I want our listening audience to.
So I am pre-arthritic in my ankles. I am pre-arthritic in my knees because of my stellar sports career throughout high school. I feel like, because I left it all in the field back then. But yes, I have an old man walker that some days I can't walk. And I woke up on Monday, and that was one of those days. And my sweet wife was nice enough to get me a walker to help me get around. So I have an old man walker that I walk around with when my knees don't let me put weight on them, or my ankles are swollen I can't put weight on them.
But you are awaiting surgery.
Yes, I have surgery in December, which will fix this particular problem that is causing me right now. But yes, I have an old man walker, and there's no shame in it.
No,
Thank you very much.
Not 1 minute.
And I don't take it in public for reasons exactly like this. Because
Amanda, if you're listening, I need a picture.
I'll run into people like you who will see me on my old man walker, and I'll never live it down.
Kind and gracious.
After you snapped a picture and put it on your Facebook page.
I would not put it on Facebook page, but I would keep it for personal consumption.
Yes, you would probably, and you would send it out to possibly a certain group of people.
No.
No one believes that.
No
one believes that. You are a faithless wench, and you would absolutely send out my old man walker picture to anyone and everyone.
Well, hopefully we'll get one and we can test that theory.
No, it's never happening. I am very cautious about that kind of thing.
Well, after the break, we got all kinds of good political stuff going on, and
there's not a ton of news out of Raleigh, but a little bit that we can go over. But I think you were worried that we wouldn't be able to get through the first segment, based off your stellar show prep. But we did.
Yes, thank God.
So kudos to you, huzzah! Right? Exactly. You're listening to We're Just Saying. We'll be right back.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
We all want more for North Carolina. More boundless views, more adventures in the outdoors, and more clean roads to get there. But to get more, we have to do less. Less littering, that is. Make it your nature to trash your trash and keep NC clean. And we'll all have more reasons to love North Carolina. Litter less, get more. For more on the 7 outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, visit OutdoorNC.com. Sponsored by the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters and Visit North Carolina, a part of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina in cooperation with this station.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right
that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Bravo, Brenda. You've always been a saver. Price matching your price matches. The self-proclaimed queen of extreme couponing. But this time, you've truly outdone yourself. By saving for this electric vehicle, you're locking in up to $1,000 a year in fuel and maintenance savings, which will leave you saying, cha-ching, every time you unplug. Good for your wallet, great for the planet. That's the power of EV. Sponsored by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
Welcome back to We're Just Saying with Senator Vickie Sawyer and David. Like to be part of the show, 704-873-9929. So as you thumb through the Twitter feeds and the Twitter or the X-verse.
The
right?
X-verse,
the
yeah.
X-verse. Speaking of, we haven't done a rated X in a while. Have people stopped cussing you? Have people stopped mean tweeting at you?
I don't know.
Mean Xing at you?
I used to have the best.
Yeah, but it's like people have stopped being mean to you.
Maybe I'm just not relevant anymore.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Or you just want them all to your side. Mm-hmm. But you have not had anybody with a Ukraine flag tweet at you in a while.
We used to have so many good mean tweets.
Yeah, but, and always under the fake names that were always fun.
Yes.
You know, everything like that. We need to get back to that.
We do.
You need to be posting more.
I should. I will do a better job.
Yes, in the new year, post a little bit more so we can do some more rated X's.
All right.
And you need to be provoking some people.
Yes, I do, because that's really my nature is to pick fights with everybody.
It is very much your nature.
Yes.
No, just me.
Just you. Just you. Yeah.
No, but essentially, as you were thumbing through there, I saw the little Grok button. What is your go-to AI?
Grok.
Me too. Me too. I have accounts on both ChatGPT and Grok. I find Grok to be and you love your Elon, so obviously you're going to be faithful to Mr. Musk and everything like that.
Well,
but also I think Grok is actually better.
Oh, good. Well, and so if you listen to the Joe Rogan show when Elon was on, he was talking about Grok, and Elon's whole goal is to make sure that it is the truly authentic answer for all your questions, whereas others had, I think we talked about this before, but different kind of social slants onto their answers. His is like, no, it's going to be down the middle. So I love Grok. It's in my car, in my Tesla. I have conversations with him all the time.
You have gendered Grok?
Mm-hmm. Sal.
Sal?
His name is Sal.
Sal.
Hey, Sal, what's up?
So now you have trained your Grok to let him to be called Sal.
Yeah, that's the name in this Tesla. So you can choose whichever one. I think it's Ari, Sal. So I chose Sal. He's got a smooth, gravelly tone, and he talks like this. He's great.
Through your Tesla.
Mm-hmm. So I go down the road, and I'm ask all kinds of silly questions, and it's great. My friend Candace, she talks to it too, but she gets really mad, and sometimes they get in a fight. That's fun too when my friend and my AI are fighting back and forth. But yeah,
does the AI win?
Always. A little snarky too.
So I have noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking a question utilizing my Grok earlier this week, and I was asking a question, and apparently I came back around and asked the same question, maybe a little bit differently, and it came forward with as I previously stated, kind of like the per my last email type thing, and I was like, I was like a little saucy there. I was like, but hey, my bad. My bad. I asked you to think, but I am intrigued because, Trump has been talking about his executive order now potentially issuing or getting ready to issue, basically outlawing state laws and regulating AI.
Right.
And so, and as a state legislator, you and I were talking about this before the show started. What's your thought on that? Because, you all have looked at some AI-specific things down in Raleigh. I don't know if you've passed any AI-specific laws, but, what's your feeling on that?
Yeah, well, so a couple things. One is it's really interstate commerce. So I don't know how we as a state legislature could pass anything that would govern or protect AI. Now, I do know that California, I hardly ever look to California for examples of things, but I do know that they have actually done a pretty good job for protecting people online, with some of their regulations and stuff. And so has the UK as far as that. Now, that's not AI per se. It is more like just the plain old internet. But I don't know that we need to get into that sphere, and Trump is saying don't get into that sphere because how would you regulate it? All you're doing is just setting up, I guess, lawyer protection, income protection acts, I guess, if you're going to, set regulations and then they just sue the big companies.
And not for nothing, if your AI is so... it's growing exponentially by the month.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you're going to attempt to regulate it, you have to put forward set up the infrastructure to regulate it, which means money, which means people.
Well, that's right.
And it's yet another government bureaucracy and agency that likely gets bloated out of control and doesn't do what it's intended to do to begin with. And so I actually agree with that. I don't think states have any business playing in trying to regulate AI. And I think you nailed it on the head at the very start, because it's interstate commerce.
Yeah.
It's no different than trying to regulate the internet or trying to regulate free speech or things like that.
Yeah.
Which multiple states have tried and continue to try, but I don't think the state has any business regulating.
You know what I'm kind of looking forward to, but with bated breath,
What's
a little
that?
Nervous. So primary season's coming up, right?
Primary season is coming up.
And
filings in 2 weeks?
Yeah. So I may have or may not have taken pictures and just goofed around with some of my friends and made them say or do things that were funny on the grok.
I've seen a few of those.
Yes, I think I sent them to you.
And a few people that are not your friends.
Everybody's my friend.
Yes, as far as we know.
As far as according to me.
As far as you know.
Yes. So I made just a little good-natured ribbing of things about where I took somebody's political picture and shared amongst friends about having them say funny things that I should or I thought was funny.
I
don't know.
I thought they were hilarious.
Yes,
I thought they were hilarious.
I don't think the person that but anyways. So here we are in the advent of the first political season where AI is in the hands of everybody.
Yes.
I wonder what is getting ready to happen.
Oh, I think it's going to be, because the AI videos now, it is extraordinarily difficult, next to impossible.
I wish I could tell mine on the air, but I can't.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot, because differentiating between real people and AI right now. And I think that it will. And the problem is, the old saying that, a lie makes it around the world before the truth gets its shoes on.
Oh, yeah.
I think that what we're going to see is a lot of these fake videos. They're going to get circulated. The bots are going to promote them. They are going to get, and they are going to be around the internet, and it's going to be ingrained in people, and it's going to be next to impossible to, basically figure out who put it out.
Right.
But the damage will have been done. And I think it's going to be dangerous. I honestly do.
I wonder if someone's going to take our show and make us say something that we didn't really say.
Do you think there's anybody that cares that much about what we say?
We get in trouble enough.
What would we actually say? I don't know that you need to fake what we say.
So that is let's go a plug for radio. So, that's the kind of thing that if you do have a political mind and you want to see what's happening, turn off your social media and turn on your radio.
Absolutely.
And you can hear amazing things directly from our mouths here on the WAME family studios.
Yeah.
But so I can just imagine the amount of tomfoolery that's going to go on with this AI stuff, especially, I know Democratic primaries are bloody too, but I have more obviously experience with Republican ones, especially at the local levels. And I've seen things way back when where there was a Facebook post that wasn't really a post. Yeah. Could you imagine what it's going to be like now?
Well, and I think, it will be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see because, you can make really, really authentic AI videos. But there is a level of expertise and skill involved in doing it. It's not just as simple. I mean, you can go into Grok, make me a video of this. It doesn't necessarily, you can look at it and say, yeah, okay, this is AI, right? Yeah. Even though it's that person's face, but their mouth's moving kind of like, when you used to see on SpongeBob the picture of the dude and it's the mouth behind the painting, right?
That's
It's obvious.
I thought you were going to go through Kung Fu.
Kung Fu? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
where their mouths are moving, but it's sub-dubbed or whatever like that.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, you went to SpongeBob.
I do, but I went to SpongeBob because the mouth behind the painting type thing. So it's pretty obvious, but at a local level, state level, and everything like that. I mean, you got to be pretty skilled to make those things look really authentic. And so not that there aren't people that have the time to do that and have figured it out, but I think it will be interesting to see how AI, because this will be, I think, the first election where AI is, it's ready for prime time. Yeah, it absolutely is. So it is going to be interesting to see how they regulate and how, because you can, there's statements and I don't know how you regulate it. I don't know how you do it.
It's the wild, wild west.
How do you track down who it was that did it? How do you devote the resources to researching that? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. It really is. I mean, with great power comes great responsibility, and AI is and I love the fact that it is open to everyone, that you can get on, you can utilize it and things like that. But, with every benefit, there is also a potential consequence.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what will happen. But again, radio is where it's at. So
radio is where terrestrial media is where it's at. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, and then speaking of election season coming up, we had Auditor Dave Bullock just came out with yet another finding on a beleaguered and troubled state agency. And we've talked about this before because the House and the Senate has brought this North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency, which was a Governor Cooper creation to help help people in Eastern North Carolina with Hurricane Florence and Michael rebuilding, and is still just talked about how terrible that agency did. So check this out. This is crazy to me. I was reading through, and he indicated that agency spent $25 million on a software program to help expedite the bid process. $25 million
for a
software program. I know some consultant out there was licking their chops during that, but isn't that just ridiculous?
Yeah.
I mean, and it didn't even do anything. And in fact, it said at some point that what it did is it made the program was so terrible that it actually made them spend more money. And as a result, the office spent more than $230,000 on temporary lodging for a single household. So not only did they blow $25 million on an inoperable software program, it basically, because of that inept, we spent $230,000 on temporary lodging for a single household. And some of these houses were only $230,000 to begin with, right? I mean, the land's still there on these things, right? And so you're just putting things up. A lot of these folks didn't have insurance, and they had single family, lower income housing. I mean, for the amount that they got put up for, they could have had a nice, beautiful home already built.
Well, and what frustrates me about that is there could have been a very easy way to do that. There are local contractors in all of these areas that know the area, build houses, that the individual homeowner could have gone to. There could have been local assistance set up where there are contractors to go in for people to come in. They could have offered a swath of cookie cutter product to come in and to say, hey, which of these fits into your budget, on your property and everything like that. They could have chose that one. There could have been a reimbursement request filed with the state. All you would have need to verify is that it was a state licensed contractor and that the house, and have, just someone look to say, hey, does the money fit the house and everything like that? Check it off. hand them a go-ahead, and the builder could have come in and do it. This could have been an extraordinarily easy process to funnel. But the problem is that it wasn't local up, it was state down.
Right.
And the state is nothing if not, in its bureaucracy, excellent of adding extra cost, time, effort, and incompetence to doing something like that. It is not difficult to build a house. It is not. And there are many people who know how to do it. This could have been so easy. All of these homes could have been rebuilt years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But instead, $25 million instead of going to homes to people who many of them are still waiting,
Right.
it went to a software program that didn't work.
Yeah, government at its finest.
Well,
and that's under Governor Cooper's leadership.
And that's under
that was
Governor Cooper's leadership.
yeah.
Absolutely. And, and we see it at the federal level too. I don't know if you saw, I was listening to the radio yesterday. So apparently the Department of Justice has found that there were these nonprofits in Minneapolis that were set up to treat autism in the Somali community, because it's very prevalent in Minneapolis and in Minnesota. It's where Elon Omar is from and got elected from. And turns out the reimbursement requests for treating autism in the Somali community went from something like $17 million to $500 million in a year. And that money, turns out, was funneled back over to Somalia and into the hands of terrorist organizations inside of Somalia.
Oh, wow.
To the tune now of $1.something billion.
Good grief.
A Florida congresswoman has just been indicted by a grand jury, Democrat, of course, for stealing $5 million in FEMA money.
Really?
That was supposed to be used to help with disaster recovery down there. And apparently FEMA overpaid $5 million. Instead of telling them that they overpaid $5 million, she kept it, paid it out to certain people who then turned around and donated to her campaign for Congress.
We always wondered how the Democrats were able to do those donations so well and be able to raise more money than Republicans.
The Democrats have always... the out-of-state money that floods into North Carolina for Democrats versus Republicans is astronomically different, exponentially different, and Democrats have always been better at it. They always have. And which is sad, right? But from the state level, something that should be so simple as to build a house,
right?
$25 million in waste to $5 million fraudulently given to a congresswoman by FEMA or overpaid to a congresswoman. Probably they may have known, they may not have known, who knows? But it was incompetence nonetheless. To over $1 billion funneled through autism support efforts for the Somali community in Minnesota that goes back down into Somalia. So the Minnesota taxpayer was funding that.
Well, you know who does know how to build a house? How do you Do you know who does know how to build a house?
Who?
One of my favorite shows.
Oh, that's right.
This Old House.
You still watch This Old House?
I do. I enjoy it with Norm. Norm retired a while ago, and Tom, and yes, Tom's daughter's now on there too. And
really?
Yeah, it's great. It's good to watch. A little Sunday This Old House. It's a great show. But This Old House is coming.
Is it still on PBS?
Yes, it is, and it's coming to Western North Carolina.
Wait, PBS is still on?
Oh, yeah.
After all that funding was cut from them, they're still on? They're still broadcasting?
You know what? They are like...
I'm just shocked. Just shocked.
Well, they're getting my $19 a month because I am now a proud member of the PBS Masterpiece and documentary series. I love it.
You started donating during Downton Abbey, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I love it. I'm sorry. I do.
I was a fan of Downton Abbey. Me and the wife enjoyed Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Because it's depressing in many ways, but it's like y'all just randomly killed off people that you liked.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Gilded Age is good, by the way. If you haven't watched it,
is Gilded Age. Yeah. Well, This Old House host Kevin O'Connor, he toured the restaurants and breweries, including Highland Brewing, reopened following the storm, sitting down with owners, and did a whole Western North Carolina piece called The Carolina Comeback. But Carolina Comeback, that actually has a political twist when they called it the Carolina Comeback.
Yeah.
Do you remember those buttons, the Carolina Comeback?
I do remember. Was that
McCrory?
I think
Who was that?
think it
was
our crack team of fact checkers that listen to us will come get us and let us know. But no, I do remember that. But no, I'm glad they went up there. I grew up there, and so Western North Carolina, the Asheville area, my hometown Candler, still they still have Candler. Yes, Candler. Still has a very special place in my heart. I'm glad they're back up there. They are working to recover up there, get businesses back on their feet, and there's a lot of cool places up there. There really is. I chose not to live there because it's boring. But it's a great place to visit. Not a great place to live in my mind.
There's a lot of things to do, but it has to be outside.
But
that's
not
you.
It is an outdoorsy place. That is but they don't have an NFL football team that I can go and watch. They don't have an NBA basketball team I can go watch.
Sure.
There's more to do here, right? Fair. And more that I want to do is here versus up in Asheville. But still a great place, still very cool. But what's funny is the Asheville of today is nothing like the Asheville that I grew up in.
Correct.
There were not breweries when I grew up there. You didn't go downtown except for Belshare or to work. Belshare was the festival down there. I still remember going up there. My wife and I went back home to visit mom and dad when they still lived there years ago. And I asked mom and dad were going to keep the kids. Yeah. We were going to go out on a date. And so I was asking my aunt who still lives up there, hey, what's a great place? We're going here for dinner. What's a great place to go for dessert? And she said, oh, there's this chocolate place. It's fantastic. It's been on a couple of shows. You should go there. And I was like, great. Where is it? She said on Eagle Street. And I was like, are you trying to get me killed? Because when I was growing up, Eagle Street was where you went to buy your crack rocks. And so, you didn't drive down it. It was dangerous.
Is that first-hand knowledge?
Yes. Well, not firsthand because I bought there. Firsthand because we got lost one night when we were in high school and took a wrong turn and drove down and amazing, but it was the biggest crime area.
Okay.
But it had been completely revitalized. Wasn't what it was. Now, some things have reverted back because Asheville has just gone Looney Tunes to the left. And so they, defunding police, things like that. So it's reverted back a little bit, but still, it's still not the way I grew up, but it's got some cool places.
Yeah. So in another thing about Asheville, kind of talking about the Looney Tune-ness of it, there's the article that I was reading, and again, it reminded me of a few others that some journalists have been doing recently. And there are folks who are upset that the state invested in economic development package for Pratt Whitney. So Pratt Whitney, and I was reading through and
up in Asheville.
Yes. Yeah. Up in Asheville. So it is a defense contractor. I think it is I know it is a defense contractor. It brought tons of jobs. 900 people are currently employed at the thing, and they're getting ready in the Asheville area at this place. It does. Actually, they also just said that they're going to do an additional investment of $285 million and add another 325 jobs. But instead of that kind of great economic news, they're complaining that the state invested in an intersection change. I remember Chuck Edwards, who was a senator at that time and now is a congressman representing that area. He was dogged in getting help to get that intersection done so Pratt Whitney can get in there. So that was a state investment. And so this watchdog group is saying we shouldn't have done that. But all of that money in that area has been great for those 900 families, now almost 1,300 families after this new. And I just don't understand what is the motivation of that.
The problem with Asheville, and it was starting when I grew up there, and it has gotten exponentially worse. They are desperate for jobs. Mission Health is the largest employer in Western North Carolina. That is the single biggest industry they have. The Biltmore Corporation employs some people and everything like that, but all the way up, the Canton paper mill has shut down.
Right.
So the further you go west, the more difficult it is for families. The problem is so many people moved down into Asheville from up north, and they brought their craziness with them. And a lot of them have, money and time, and they have melded with what can only be called the tree hugger constituent up there. That's always been prevalent. But they have melded with that, and they have tried their best to close Asheville off into a nature preserve that doesn't bring a lot of traffic and everything like that. And they have done their best to kill anything that would actually stimulate growth, and especially around jobs. And, I'm amazed I'm amazed that Pratt Whitney went up there to be found, but they, obviously with the incentives, the workforce yielded itself to them, which makes sense. But the idea of these people now coming in and kill it or to cause question to it, it's like in an area that desperately needs jobs, especially after the hurricane went through and devastated so many people up there. To go through and do that, it's a narrow short-sightedness. People who are supposed to be about everybody in the community, they're really only about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's where that kind of thing comes from.
Yeah.
And it's really pitiful. Thankfully, they're there, and I think they'll beat this back. But they desperately need those jobs, so it's really short-sighted for people to come out and do things like that.
It's just interesting to me how some people will frame that story as, I'm like, this is how government works.
Yes.
I mean, like, it was like, what? There's no big there. It's just like, this is just how it works. So I don't. Anyway, so that kind of caught my eye because I just remember having some conversations and as that was going through, and I'm glad Pratt Whitney's there, and like you said, they needed the help for the investment.
Yeah.
So David, we only have a few minutes left, and so we're going to have Thanksgiving next week.
Yes.
So that means we're not going to be around.
We're not.
And then after that, the silly season starts with filing.
Yes, filing starts, and so I'm waiting to see the Facebook announcements and things like that. I think probably a lot of people are on the sidelines seeing what other people are going to do.
I do want to say one thing on this. I had this very kind lady, and there's only a few of us ladies who are elected as Republicans, so I feel like we have like the sisterhood. So we always reach out to one another and connect. And I had a very well-intended lady who's running in a very heavily Democratic district. She reached out to me by email and asked for my endorsement. And I was like, okay, look, I don't do endorsements. And the last time I did was Krista Picari, and she didn't win. So I don't know that you really want my endorsement. So if you're listening to the show,
especially in a heavily Democratic area,
if you listen to the show and you want my endorsement, I don't really do endorsements. And when I have done the one, it didn't work out so well for Krista. So I've kindly said thank you so much for the opportunity, but we don't do that. But I mean, I really have never had done endorsements, and the reason is because I feel like you run alone and you win alone, and you don't need to have not alone as far as not people, but you stand on your own 2 feet. And
yes,
and political endorsements to me from other politicals, that really just doesn't really. I don't see how that actually brings votes into the ballot box. It just. Maybe I see it more
unless
or less
it's
like,
Donald Trump. There's no endorsement that gets you elected.
Right.
There's
I don't
just not.
think so.
My stance on that has always been that, as a Republican elected official, the stance in my mind should always be, you get out of whoever comes out of the primary, you have my endorsement because you're the Republican running in the race.
Right.
Before that, go with God, let the best person win. But at the end of the day, no one cares who you are endorsed by.
Right.
No one does. It doesn't move a single vote.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, what people are the majority of people who come out in a primary are the diehards, and they are going to be looking at your stance on issues, not who endorses you.
Yeah.
Unless it's Donald Trump. Unless it's Donald Trump. Trump is the one person where it makes a difference.
That's
the
right.
one person that makes a difference.
And yes, we all know that as Republicans that we believe in God. And but I would ask for you to maybe, if you do choose to run, to not say that God told you to in your announcement, because God may have also spoken to your opponent as well. And it's just always really weird to me, like, when folks definitely faith is important, and that is a tenet of your service, and of course that's I'm not throwing off on that, but it is very interesting to me when people use it as a crutch for political purposes. In fact, I actually disdain it.
Yeah.
So when someone comes out and says, "God, now we're talking," I'm like, and he wants you to run for city council. I mean,
well, and bear in mind, God may want you to run. He may not want you to win. So, I mean, let's just be honest about this. Everybody believes they're in good with the Almighty, and I hope that you are, and I pray that you are. I hope I am too. But God telling you to run and hoping that you win, I don't know that he gets that specific with people. I don't know that he gets that specific. Well, again, I don't question people's faith, but if God told you to run and you lose, then there's some reevaluation there, right? So maybe keep that to yourself. Say that you want to glorify God, absolutely. But just because he told you to run may not mean he wanted you to win. I'm just saying.
But you can't ask him for your endorsement.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can't ask for God's endorsement. I don't know if you'll get it, but and if you say you've got it, that's going to yield a whole other set of problems for you.
Exactly.
But it's funny because it's funny. We were reading a Facebook post from someone, a House rep down there, who's another House rep. Apparently, has recruited somebody to run against him, and he's the extra most bestest person ever to serve down there. And so it was like, and note to any political candidates who are getting ready to get out there, and you're going to put Facebook posts out and press releases out and X posts out and things like that. Please proofread your posts. Have someone else proofread them before you put them out. Because posting as a political candidate or an elected official is not the same as you posting on your personal page or writing or in your personal email, where no one cares if you have a typo or a grammar mistake or completely obliterate the English language. When you're running for office, some people look at that and be like, I don't necessarily mind what you said, but you kind of butchered the English language when you did it. Proofread. AI is there. Use your preferred one. Grok is mine. The senator prefers Grok. ChatGPT just as good. Just a little tidbit for anybody thinking about running for office.
Yes. Now go on and be forth and prosper.
Now go forth and prosper. So real quick before we shut it down, what are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving season?
My health.
Okay.
And the lack thereof.
All right, there you go. I'm thankful for my family, thankful for my parents. And before we go, a special shout out to my Aunt Deba. Her birthday is today down in Florida, as she's battling cancer right now in her brain. But she's going to beat it because she's amazing. So happy birthday, Aunt Deba. We love you. And everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Say what you want.
Thank you for tuning in to We're Just Sayin' with Senator Vickie Sawyer and co-host David Coble. We appreciate your time and input as we discuss the issues shaping North Carolina. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for more updates and insightful conversations. Take care and keep participating in the conversation.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Never reluctant to speak his mind, President Trump not backing away from his contention that a half dozen Democrat lawmakers are guilty of sedition. He calls himself a Democrat socialist. President Trump calls him a communist. Should be an interesting White House meeting today between the president and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. Federal judges have upheld several U.S. House districts that were drawn by North Carolina Republicans back in 2023. The districts helped the GOP gain additional seats the following year. The Justice Department reportedly examining the handling of a mortgage fraud investigation into Democrat Senator Adam Schiff of California. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 208 points, while the Nasdaq is now down 76 points, and the S&P 3 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-0141.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, here's a look at the weather brought to you by A1 Pest Control. No bugs here. When pests show up, show them out fast. Visit A1PC.com. That's A1PC.com and schedule your service today. Chance of a few rain showers early. Otherwise, we will see cloudy skies at low 70s. We could see a hit or miss rain shower tonight, upper 50s, and a few more showers or storms Saturday, mid 70s. From the Weather Center,